All right. Hello, friends. Thank you so much for joining us here in our week 3 of our winter wellness series. My name is Beth Piantoni, and the topic we'll be discussing today is digital detox, the benefits of unplugging from technology. So, when we think about our wellness and our health, many of us immediately start to think about our nutrition, the food we eat, our fitness, our stress, our sleep. But today, I want to give you an opportunity to think about your digital wellness and just to start to be curious about technology and the impact that it is having on your well being. We live in a fast-paced, high-tech world. It's not unusual for us to be surrounded by multiple screens. If we look at the majority of the population, we start and end the day with our smartphones and spend a large portion of our day on our computers during the workday. And then, when we go home, we may have some dinner, do a few things, and then we are back on our screens, either watching television, catching up on our favorite shows, or using our tablet to read or more internet browsing. And then we've got the weekends where we're doing more of, more television and social media and internet browsing. According to the 2020 fact sheet on smartphone addiction and statistics, the average American will spend 60 hours on screens per week, including television, smartphones, and computers. And the average smartphone user will tap and swipe, click their smartphone 2,617 times a day, while the top 10% about 5,427 times a day. So that's, when we take a step back, it's pretty astounding just to think about how much screen time consumes our lives. And don't get me wrong, technology in itself can be amazing. It improves our daily lives in so many ways. It has really revolutionized our world the last 20 years. It connects us to others and accessing information. It allows us to communicate. I mean, I wouldn't be here today if I wasn't able to have technology to offer this presentation. It is convenient, and if used mindfully, can be a really great tool to make our lives easier. So the irony here is that it also can be very unhealthy. And if we're spending too much time wrapped up in technology, many studies are coming to these conclusions that our physical and social and mental health suffers from the excessive exposure to technology. So let's talk a little bit about some of the drawbacks of technology on different aspects of our lives. One of the most dramatic impacts of technology is the decline of the quality and quantity of sleep. 47% of adults miss out on sleep due to internet usage, and 63% of people who use gadgets before bedtime stated that they do not get proper sleep during the week. And the biggest impact is the exposure to the blue light from the screens after dark. It reduces the melatonin production in our body, which makes it harder for us to fall asleep. Among the most dangerous effects of technology is the rise in obesity. Being absorbed by a laptop or a tablet or our smartphone, people tend to mindlessly snack and exercise less. What is even more serious is that people become addicted to technology. There's a new type of stress called the chronic smartphone stress. And this is caused by notifications on your phone and constantly anticipating a message or an email. If a person doesn't get enough attention, this can actually make them feel more stressed, cause more anxiety, and experience depression. And in social situations, do you find that you're losing people and your connections to the people around you to the use of smartphones? Or do you find yourself guilty of it yourself in social situations, looking at your phone more than connecting? And so this digital obsession is keeping us from those real life connections and those meaningful connections. And more people are becoming more lonely because of it. In regards to the safety, devices are often used while carrying out different tasks like driving, walking, and it can cause serious accidents. 1 of every 4 accidents in the United States is caused by texting and driving. And texting while driving is 6 times more likely to cause an accident than driving drunk. So very, very crazy and very important to not be texting when you're driving. Technology constantly is pulling us from our attention as well in multiple different directions, making it very difficult for us to focus on our work, and it decreases our intellectual acuity, which means our sharpness and our awareness and our senses are decreased, especially when we have a phone nearby. We know that we should be concentrating on our work or our family, and sometimes our gaze just strays to our phone and when we get notifications. Or trying to look at the latest Facebook page, a latest post. So my attention was really brought to this quote here. It says, technology is a useful servant, but a dangerous master. It can be such a useful tool to aid humans in work, but it also can evolve to become an uncontrollable entity. So I encourage you to take a moment and think about how much technology is currently impacting you. Do you feel that you are in control, or do you feel that technology is in control of you? And how much is too much, right? So some questions that you might want to ask yourself is, do you feel anxious or nervous when you're going too long without your phone or computer? Do you feel that it's affecting your mental health? How is your sleep lately? Do you find yourself multitasking regularly with technology, using multiple devices at a time, or always having a screen up while you're doing other tasks? Are you texting and driving? So this is completely non-judgmental. Don't judge yourself. These are just questions to ask yourself. And again, just to be curious of where you're at right now. Technology really is a powerful addiction, but the good news is that it does have a power off button. The key is to use it as a tool and to take a minimalist approach. So consider again just some of these important reasons to unplug. Reason number 1, life at its best is happening right in front of you. Our world may be changing, but the true nature of life is not. Life is happening right in front of us, and these experiences will never repeat themselves. The conversations that we have with people are unfiltered and authentic, and the love that we have around us is real. But if we're too busy staring at our screen, like you can see in this picture, to take a perfect picture, we're going to miss all of those moments. All right, so reason number 2, solitude is harder to find in an always connected world. Solitude is what grounds us to the world around us. It provides us that stillness and quiet required to help replenish ourselves. In a world where outside noise is coming quicker and louder than ever, it's easier to overlook. So true solitude and meditation will always require the intentional action of shutting off the noise and the screens. Reason number 3, unplugging promotes creation over consumption. So essentially, most of our time is spent in 2 ways, consuming or creating. Certainly, technology can contribute to creating. For example, this presentation was created on a computer, but most of the time, we do spend time in front of technology consuming, such as playing video games or browsing the internet, watching movies, listening to music. Our world doesn't need so much consuming, it needs creators. And so I encourage you to tune into your passions, your hobbies, and really your full potential. All right, reason number 4, unplugging combats the fear of missing out. And fear of missing out, we know it feels like the worst, right? And it's that worry that we're missing out on our fun time, missing being with everybody. But when we concern ourselves with what everyone else is doing with, their socializing, we miss out in the moment that's actually right in front of us. And one thing to remember too, sometimes we get really caught up on social media, Facebook, Instagram, with seeing these pictures of people and it appears to be a picture perfect, event or a social event that's happening. Just remember, it's really an illusion, and we're all experiencing those highs and lows in life, and people are just putting on their best faces in the moment. So you just remember that they rarely show you those moments when they feel down or when they're feeling like things are going wrong or if they need support. All right, reason number 5, addiction can only be understood when the object is taken away. So the only way we can truly realize the level of addiction that we might have is when we start to remove it. And checking our devices actually activates the reward circuitry in our brain, the pleasure hormone, that dopamine response, which is exactly what happens when they're with gambling and other forms of addiction. So try, taking a tech habit and reducing it. You could maybe pick a day or a time and see how you start to feel. So if you feel like you're ready for a digital detox, you can use many strategies to take a break from screen time. There's different methods for different people because of our unique lifestyles and personalities. But here are a few ways that you can do a digital detox. So first, take some time to set some boundaries. Maybe schedule technology-free hours every day. Stay away from your computer during maybe mealtime with your family. That's a perfect time to do that. Or add technology-free activities. Use your phone with a purpose. So use it as a tool as you would need it. So consider why you're using it. And one thing to keep in mind too is if it involves a negative coping behavior, like say if you're trying to avoid a situation and you're just tuning into technology to distract yourself, think about a better way that you can handle that situation. Setting some physical boundaries. So if you have trouble putting down your phone, try storing it in a different room to discourage yourself from using it. If you're in the car, one thing you could do is put it in maybe in the back seat or in the trunk so that you're not able to look at your phone when you've got a notification. Or I was hearing the other day, somebody actually put their phone in their car overnight. And they actually bought themselves a real alarm clock, which many of us are using our phones as alarm clocks, which sets ourselves up for immediately starting to use the internet, social media, checking the news when we wake up. So that's kind of a great way too, to have it, away from you at night. Also enjoying paper media. For those books, I actually started reading some more books this year and really trying to get away from so much browsing the internet, and it's been awesome. And the one thing to remember about reading books is that it really helps us develop our imagination when we're reading these stories. And when we're doing that with the phone, we're not using our imagination as more. So and getting back to paper media and reading more it can be really beneficial. And like I was saying before, buying an alarm clock. So instead of using your phone, which can be a real slippery slope, especially in the morning, uh, try just going for a regular alarm clock and see what a different that feels like for you when you wake up in the morning, and see a different if it feels in terms of your time and your overall mental well-being as well. Taking advantage of your phone's apps and features. So your phone has some certain features where you can actually block certain apps on your phone. So I have one here where I can, on my iPhone, I can set limits for screen time. And what I've been doing is I block all my phones from 7 o'clock at night, from 7 o'clock in the morning. So then I'm not able to look at social media and, take that time to really spend with my family. And also the sleep is a big one too at night. If you can get caught up scrolling, and it does, again, it affects your sleep and the quality of it. So that's a really, really helpful. And then another one is dropping notifications. So I've actually done that myself. I take off all my Facebook, Instagram notifications, so I don't have constantly, even my text messages too, so I don't constantly see my phone, these notifications coming in my phone, so I have to check my phone, which then you easily get distracted, right? So I hope that this was helpful for you. I know this is sort of a quick presentation, but a powerful message, right? And really just to have you take some time to think about think about your relationship with technology, and hopefully it inspires you to do a little digital detox yourself. And I really do believe that if we just take the time to learn this discipline and have a healthy balance, that our lives will be healthier and fuller because of it. So I hope that you join us for our next week's session. We have Maureen Daniel. She's going to be presenting the power of pause on Wednesday. We also have our fitness sessions too that have been going really well. I just did a beginner in a high intensity interval workout on Tuesday, and that was really well received. We're going to have Nicole next week with a fitness session. She'll be doing most likely a bar or yoga class. But it will be great.